talk about Huda, we'll talk about our way. Come join us and have your say. Let's talk about our way. Remember, you are not alone. Huda is the light in your home. We'll talk about Huda, we'll talk about our way. Come join us and have your say. Let's talk about our way. Remember, you are not alone. Huda is the light in your home.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, dear brothers and sisters, to another one of our live episodes of Viewers Pulse, and I'm your host for the program, Junaid Dar. Brothers and sisters, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for tuning in, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this from us, from yourselves, and for all those working in front and behind the cameras, for it to be accepted as a good deed. Brothers and sisters, we are coming to you live from your favorite TV channel, Huda TV. We are here live, and we are here welcoming your phone calls and welcoming your feedback, your comments, any kind of thoughts that you have, you can bring it to us on air. Now, brothers and sisters, Viewers Pulse effectively has two main aims. We want to review the last week, see what was going on, look at the programs, select the main or highlights of programs that we discussed, and then inshallah ta'ala look at small clips and get your contributions and make some small comments on those clips. Furthermore, we like to look into the upcoming programs, discussing some of the new programs that we've made and some of the guests that will be appearing on some of our programs. And at the same time, today is a very special program. We have with us a very special guest. As those who have been following us on our Facebook page know very well, that we have our own beloved, respected news presenter, Ali Coleman, in the studio. And inshallah ta'ala, in segment number 2, he'll be joining us for a very personal interview where he'll be talking about his experiences and his thoughts on Huda TV and his work in front of the camera. So, brothers and sisters, we are live, and we are here welcoming your thoughts, your comments, your feedback. And you can do that in a number of different ways. The most direct and the most easiest way to do that is by calling us. Our number is running across the screen. It does begin with 002. For those of you who are in Egypt, you won't need to dial that code. For those of you outside, you will need to dial the code. And your call will be taken direct in the studio, and I will try to address the phone call to the best of my abilities. And at the same time, when we have our guest with us, you can address your comments to myself or to the guest. So do call us and present us with your thoughts or with your comments. Brothers and sisters, at the same time, if you're unable to get to the phones, you have a number of different ways of how to communicate with us. Secondly, it's the email. So you can email us at pulse@huda.tv. So you put your comments through, or your answers to the questions that we've had over the last week onto this particular address, and then we read them out to you. So inshallah ta'ala, after a short time, I'll go through some of your emails, your comments that you have given us with regards to some of our programs, and with some comments about what you would like to see. So you have the email. Thirdly, dear brothers and sisters, one of my favorites is Facebook. So facebook.com/Huda TV. Now, the Facebook page is one of my favorites. I absolutely love the Facebook page. It's full of color, it's full of activities, and most importantly, it's full of Islamic reminders. When you go into the Facebook page, you can't help but start clicking all over the place and reading different articles and looking at different videos and reading the different Islamic reminders that are present there. Furthermore, the Facebook page does link you to our official website, where you can see us there on Huda TV. And this website is very important. Why do I say that? It's because you get a list of all of our programs and the airing times. And furthermore, you actually get information of our speakers that come up on our shows, and some of the presenters at the same time, and also some of those who contribute to our channel, and you can see their contribution. So I recommend that you go onto the official webpage and look at the various information there. Brothers and sisters, once you've joined onto the Facebook page, don't forget to like the page. Furthermore, not just yourself, but we want you to invite your friends and your families to our Facebook page and increase the number of likes and increase the number of people that are viewing our channel and viewing our content. Now, it's important to remember at this point, brothers and sisters, that Huda TV is an Islamic da'wah channel with the aim to promote authentic Islam in everybody's house. So just think about it for a moment, that if you forward a link or an Islamic reminder or something that's there on the page and somebody is influenced in a positive way, then inshallah ta'ala you will get the reward for this action as well as the person who will perform the good deed. And in turn, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward us as well for the hard work that the channel puts in for making those pages active and putting those reminders out there. So don't forget, it's an opportunity for yourselves to pick up a reward. Furthermore, brothers and sisters, you can always catch us on our Twitter account as well. So that's twitter.com/Huda TV channel. Now, the Twitter account it's very important. Why do I say that? Because the Twitter account actually connects you directly to the Facebook. So whatever's put up on Facebook is tweeted out immediately. So if you're joined up with us, subscribe to us on Twitter, you'd get immediate feedbacks and immediate updates of what's going on and what programs are going out there and what reminders have been put out. So don't miss out. Do subscribe to us on the Twitter account. Now, moving on, and most importantly, is our YouTube page. You can catch us on youtube.com/Huda TV. Now, why do I say this is the most important? I mean, we are a TV channel. So you can see all of our programs on our YouTube channel. At the same time, by the click of a button, you can live stream all of our programs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So for those countries that unfortunately we haven't quite got into your countries via satellite, you can watch us live streaming, and I do recommend you do that, and all of our programs are there. And at the same time, you have a collection, an archive of previous programs. So if you want to review something that you haven't seen or you missed a particular program, you can always go through the archive and you can watch the programs and filter through them according to date or according to subject title. Furthermore, what's more interesting about the YouTube page, actually, it's the discussions. Now, whenever we have a particular video or a program, we upload it, we get some interesting comments from people who would share their thoughts. I mean, we've had a program recently on Huda Tonight discussing sex education for minors, and at what age should we start teaching our children about the realities of sex and marriage and these things. And it was an interesting discussion, and some people agreed with the doctor who said he in his opinion, his qualified opinion, would start teaching children at the age of 6 or 7, and some people strongly disagreed. So this is a platform for us to bring forward our views, to bring forward our points of view and discuss them in a good environment. So don't forget the YouTube page. And finally, dear brothers and sisters, that brings us to our final mode of communication, and that is Skype. So you can catch us on Skype, which is Huda_TV, and our light is usually green, so you can call us, video call or voice call as you please, and inshallah ta'ala there will be somebody there welcoming your comments and your thoughts, and inshallah ta'ala we will take them forward and present them to the relevant person. So do contact us via Skype at the same time. That's Huda_TV. Now, brothers and sisters, as I mentioned to you before, today we have a very special program. In segment number 2, we will be going through an interview. But before we go through the interview, I want to remind you of our last week's question. The question of the week was, who was the first caliph of Islam? Now, the lines are open, and you can contribute and give us your answer on air and be the winner of the week. So I will leave the question open just for a short period of time for those who want to pick up their phones and call and become the champions of this week, and then we will go through, inshallah ta'ala, the various brothers and sisters who presented their questions, their answers with regards to this question. But before we do that, let's have a look at some of your emails. As promised, we have a number of different emails. We have an email coming from Maggie Hamada. She writes, Dear Huda TV, I just wanted to thank you for the daily reminders that you post up on Huda TV throughout the day. They convey extremely powerful messages and they help renew my faith. This is a wonderful idea, and I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards you all for your hard work. What can I say? Emails like this from Sister Maggie Hamada, really subhanahu wa ta'ala are emails that really inspire us to keep working and inspire us and motivate us to continue to do what we do, because effectively we are a da'wah channel and all of us are trying our best to work for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to seek that reward that we can. I understand we have a phone call. Okay, Sister Fatima calling from the United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam to la sister.
Yeah, I want to answer the question. The
Please go
first
ahead.
caliph was Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu.
Okay, that's correct.
Okay, thank you very much. And I want to suggest something.
Please.
You all give the number of the banks at Al Rajhi Bank and United Arab Dubai Islamic, but it goes very fast. We can't even take the picture of that number. It would be nice if you could give crawlers at times showing us the number of United Arab Emirates where we can subscribe our amount. It would be nice if somebody can call out the numbers also so that we can record it and give them to our friends. My friends, they have been asking in my school that what is the number we want to subscribe.
Okay, thank you for your phone call, Sister Fatima. Two very important points. First and foremost, you do become the winner of the week. You, mashallah ta'ala, Sister Fatima, have answered the question correctly. So well done. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase you in your knowledge. Your second comment or your suggestion about the bank details, inshallah, if you contact us on our Facebook page, which is Viewers Pulse on Facebook, you will get the relevant information there. Inshallah ta'ala, we'll try to send out the information and the numbers, the contact information that you requested there, inshallah ta'ala. So, well done, Sister Fatima. So,
brothers might have talked about it. We're expecting Sheikh Zainuddin Johnson to come to Egypt also for recording a couple of shows, inshallah, soon.
excellent.
Talking about other miscellaneous news, Huda TV will participate with a Kuwaiti Islamic organization in covering da'wah activities at Asia World Cup in Australia, inshallah. That is between...
He also said Abu Bakr, so well done. And finally, Ibrahim, Abyssinian. Thank you very much, brother, for your contribution at the same time. The answer was Abu Bakr. I think this week's question was, or last week's question was relatively easy. So this week, inshallah ta'ala, I will be giving you the question shortly. It's a bit more challenging, so I hope we have the same amount of people responding as we did to the last week's question. Okay, so that we dealt with Sister Maggie Hamada's email. The next email was by Sister Amanda Noor, and she writes, okay, what she actually gives us a number of different suggestions for programs, and one of her suggestions is how to end unhealthy friendships. And here she writes in brackets, convert issues. So Sister Amanda, for our dear viewers who have been following us on Viewers Pulse, mashallah ta'ala, Sister is very active and she helps with the channel and suggests programs for the channel. And at the same time, Sister Amanda, she wrote for us her story and how she became a Muslimah. And she was influenced, very much so, by Huda TV. And we took her story with her permission and we have made it into a very short clip. And inshallah ta'ala, brothers and sisters, especially Sister Amanda, you'll be seeing your story very shortly on a very beautiful background. So inshallah ta'ala, do watch that. So here Sister Amanda gives us a title or a suggestion for a program about how to end unhealthy friendships. And she's talking about issues before Islam. She also mentions another possible title for our programs, are having pets like cats and dogs haram? That's a good topic. And how about visiting a zoo or a circus, which is notorious for animal abuses? MashaAllah, I think all three of those subjects are valuable subjects which we can discuss in our programs, especially the first one where Sister Amanda mentioned how to end unhealthy friendships. So prior to Islam, those contexts that you have, how do you move away in a healthy environment and without causing offense with those people? Inshallah ta'ala, those subjects have been noted and we will try our best to present something on them. Furthermore, our third email does come from the KSA, Sister Aisha. She says, peace be upon all of you who are making Huda TV. Sheikh Muhammad Salah told us to make a dua for our favorite channel, Huda TV. So she personally said, I never forget making dua. I live in Mecca. My home is near the Holy Mosque. So every step I remember my dear channel, Huda TV. Today I was on the way to the Holy Mosque and I was making lots of dua for this particular channel. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our dua. Ameen. And she also answers the question correctly with the answer being Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Now, Sister Aisha, mashallah ta'ala, she's also a very active sister with the TV. And Muhammad Salah in his program asked all of our viewers to make dua for the channel. The channel is going through some hurdles, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with us, and we hope to go through these with ease. So Muhammad Salah asked you, brothers and sisters, to make dua for us, and Sister Aisha here, mashallah ta'ala, what better dua? She made dua for us on the way to the holy Kaaba, and she made dua for us while she was in the Kaaba. Dear brothers and sisters, we appreciate that very much. It's very touching, and don't stop. Keep making dua for us, and pray that we are able to do a lot more than what we are doing. Alhamdulillah. Brothers and sisters, let's bring you up to date with some of the latest news items. We have with us the news of our Facebook page. As mentioned previously, brothers and sisters, please do remember to visit our page, which is facebook.com/Viewers Pulse Official. Now here, this page is relatively new, and it's designed or dedicated for this program. So if you have any comments or you want to answer the questions that we pose, please address them on this page so we can keep everything collected and we can respond to you in the quickest manner possible. So do visit our page, brothers and sisters, Viewers Pulse Official. Like the page, send the page out to your friends and your families. Inshallah ta'ala, we hope to increase the number of likes dramatically, and we hope that this page, inshallah ta'ala, becomes a source of good for all of us. Now, brothers and sisters, that's the first news item. The second news item we have is our reminder of the Deen Show. Now, the Deen Show is a very successful program. It's been aired on Huda's screen for a while, but now it's coming back with the latest episodes, and the presenter, Brother Eddie, is the host of one of the most exciting Purpose of Life talk shows. So, inshallah ta'ala, brothers and sisters, we encourage you to watch this program and to leave your comments at the end of each program at the same time. And it will be aired at 7 p.m. That's Mecca time, twice a week. That's twice a week on a Friday and a Sunday. So don't miss the Deen Show with Brother Eddie, who will be here with us on Fridays and Sundays, 7 o'clock or 7 p.m. Mecca time. Brothers and sisters, that does bring us to our story of Amanda Noor. Now, Amanda Noor, her new name is Amina Noor, which she asked us to mention. Her name is Amina Noor. MashaAllah ta'ala, I'm very happy actually to hear her story. I read the story before, and now I'm going to watch it in a clip. And brothers and sisters, please do watch this clip and see how you'll be moved by... oh, we've got a phone call. Okay, we have a phone call from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like a request that you have a new program, specifically titled like, what does it mean in this world, in this modern world, to live our deen? Is it only in a closed book now? We need to give examples of how to apply our deen in our daily modern life, you know, and refute the concept of having to modernize or update our deen just because it's a different generation. This is not so. And I think we need to emphasize that. And the easiest way is, instead of, I love very much that you give examples of the Prophet and the Sahaba. I think that's very, very important. But I think when you do portray that or speak of that, I think you need to also relate it to our modern life and give examples how we can apply it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sister, for that very beautiful suggestion. I actually totally agree with you. At times you can find our speakers or ourselves speaking in a very textbook manner where we discuss issues related to the deen, but in a very textbook manner. And I agree with you totally that the application of the Islamic principles is the most important aspect, especially in this modern world where we have a wide range of challenges coming from us from left and right. And of course, we need to link the modern world with our faith, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has told us that He has perfected our faith. From that time, all the way to the Day of Judgment. So Islam has the answers and the solutions to all of our problems, irrespective of where we are and whatever time it is. So brothers and sisters, I do appreciate that very much, and your comment has been noted down, and it will, inshallah ta'ala, be presented in one of our programs. Now, brothers and sisters, let's come back to our story of Sister Amanda Noor, and let's watch this very short report on how Sister Amanda Noor was affected by Huda TV and how she took her Shahada and became a Muslimah. So let's watch this report, inshallah.
This is the story of Sister Amina Noor. She wrote us her story to Islam. She said, I was raised as an agnostic. We went to church about once a month, but more for the free coffee and donuts, and nice people, not really for God. My mother always gave us a lecture about questioning all of religion, because she didn't know if it was true, but it was also taboo in American Christian culture to question the inner workings of Christianity. So I was stuck. I wanted to know why. I was living in sunny California, the Hollywood culture in the extreme. I graduated high school 2007 and didn't know what to do next. Of course, being a good girl, I started university. Before Islam, my life was ordinary, but quickly deteriorating. In university, I found myself making more and more poor choices, poor friendships, poor relationships, and poor social activities. I had guilt after doing these, that I knew I was missing something big in my life. I thought perhaps maybe it was God. So I started looking into many different religions, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, even Baha'i. I didn't choose to become a Muslim, and please let me explain. I wanted to be at peace in my heart while I was looking into different religions. I would watch lectures on YouTube from the various leaders of that faith. I spent maybe a week on Christianity, maybe a week on Judaism and so on. But one day, I was watching the news and there happened to be an anti-Islam protest in New York. People were shouting about feminism and honor killings and violence. A thought came to me like, Islam is not like that. It's beautiful. This thought scared me because I hadn't been researching Islam. I really didn't know much more about Islam than any other American that watches the news. I immediately went to YouTube and Google, women in Islam. I watched a lecture from Huda TV and later a university lecture on accepting Islam. At the end of the video, the host was saying if anyone thought they wanted to take Shahada to come up to the stage. About 4 women came up. My heart practically ran out of my chest and tripped over itself in desperation to be there. I wanted to take Shahada so bad I literally cried out in shock from the physical pain. This was literally 2 hours after I started watching and researching Islam. I was amazed by this reaction but completely trusted my body and mind. So I repeated Shahada with the video and just started reading about Islam. I like to think I didn't have a choice because it was already my destiny from Allah. And I'm so glad I trusted myself and my intuition. I now have peace in my heart. I know I'm following the truth, and by striving to live a Sunnah life, I'm living a life that has benefit to me, my family and my society. I am a better daughter, a wife, and recently became a mother. I am not arrogant, lazy, or self-centered now. I'm more productive and organized, alhamdulillah. I know what my job is, what my benefit is, and what I can do to be helpful. It's a peaceful life, alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, brothers and sisters, after watching a very moving, emotional, heart-touching clip about our respected sister Amanda Noor and how she came to Islam. Subhanallah, you know, when I listen to the story, my heart is beating fast. The sister wasn't looking for Islam. Islam came to her because she was pure and she was looking for the solution for her problems and the solutions to things that she was thinking about. And subhanAllah, what comes to my mind at the same time is the fact that it was an anti-Islam protest that brought her towards Islam. Now, if we look at the times we are living in today, we find that these protests are growing, and we find that people are doing things across the globe in Europe or in different aspects of Europe, protesting against Islam. But subhanAllah, Allah is the one who plans, and He is the best of planners. From these protests, the number of Muslims just increased, because Islam is the truth. There is no running away from the truth. And at the same time, the sister said once she watched these protests, she knew that this is not correct. Everybody knows that, you know, if you say something negative about the Prophet ﷺ or derogative about the Prophet ﷺ, it's not true. It's impossible for something to be true in that nature. So she researched, and her research brought her to Huda TV. SubhanAllah. Her research brought her to one of the lectures on Huda TV, and that inspired her to move forward and to look into Islam further. And subhanAllah, you know, what she said, which is very moving, very, very moving, is the fact that she wanted to burst out and to announce her shahada. She was that convinced, she was that happy, she was that content that Islam is the truth. She wanted to proclaim her shahada, and she did, and she joined this very beautiful community of the Muslims, and alhamdulillah, she has been very active since. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase her in her knowledge, to increase her in her iman, and to protect her and her family. Brothers and sisters, let's use this inspiration, let's use this as a platform for us to share our stories. Brothers and sisters, I'm sure there's many of you out there who have stories to share. Give us your stories, just like Amanda Noor did. She wrote out the story, and then inshallah ta'ala our team put a video together to present her story. So if you have a story how you came to Islam, or even something which was inspiring, made you change, so you can bring that forward. Brothers and sisters, don't forget at the same time, it's also a point of da'wah. Everybody that's affected by what you do, inshallah ta'ala, they get the reward and you also get the reward. So let's become active. Let's not be passive and wait for other people. Enough. Let's do it ourselves. Let's pick up our phones or get to our computers and start working and start committing ourselves to da'wah and calling people to the way of Islam. Now, brothers and sisters, before we go over to our break, I just want to remind you of two things. The first is our question of the week, which is, are we ready? Okay, the question of the week is, what is the real name of Abu Jahl? The question for this week is, what is the real name of Abu Jahl? Many people said the question last week was too easy, so we purposely found a question where you're going to have to think a little bit. The real name of Abu Jahl. Secondly, again, I would like to thank all those people who called in and emailed us with the correct answers, going from Amina, Maryam, Ahmed, Ibrahim, and also I forgot to mention Sister Ra-na, that's how she wrote her name. She also said Abu Bakr, mashallah ta'ala. My sister, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your correct answer, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase you in your good deeds. Please do continue contributing and sharing your thoughts and your answers with us. Finally, brothers and sisters, before we move away to our break, I want to remind you, when we come back from our break, we will have in the studio our very own beloved presenter, Ali Coleman, who will be with us to answer your questions. Get your questions ready, get your pen and paper. Inshallah ta'ala, in just a few moments, he'll be here to answer and address your issues. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
O Allah, to you belongs all praise. You are the light of the heavens and the earth, and all that is within them. إن الذين كذبوا بآياتنا واستكبروا عنها لا تفتح لهم أبواب السماء ولا يدخلون الجنة حتى يلج الجمل في سم الخياط.
Sister Amina is asking, is it true that you can see Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in the dream? The answer is yes. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam in an authentic hadith, he said, من رآني في المنام فقد رآني فإن الشيطان لا يتمثل بي. After the soul departs the body, it makes its journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it was righteous soul, it will be given permission to enter into the heavens. But if the soul was wicked, no.
إنه من يشرك بالله فقد حرم الله عليه الجنة.
Whosoever associates someone in worship with Allah, even if it is me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make Jannah haram and lawful for that person.
Huda TV's social media sites are the best way to contact us from anywhere around the world. Stay connected with Huda TV's latest news and programs through Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Skype, and Instagram. It's fast and easy. Stay up to date with your favorite shows and scholars today. Huda TV, a light in every home.
Allah, so let me stray. Please guide my way.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk on your favorite channel, Huda TV. I'm your host, Arkham Rashid. He actually did such and such that you're accusing him of in your mind. So now I want to start off with my right-hand side, Brother Ahmed. If you can just tell us what your thoughts were on that video. What can you extract from that video? Go ahead. Would you say some of the youth turn to drugs, especially in your country, if they don't have jobs, or it's because they want to get away from their daily normal lives? Would you say that's a reason?
Absolutely, that's true. Some people just resort to drug as the last option because they get themselves straight out, and they're instead of depression, but they don't know where to turn for help.
What's the wisdom behind Islam prohibiting drugs?
Islam, as a matter of fact, all the Islamic rulings in general, they are just prescribed for preserving two main things. The religion, which is spirituality, and the worldly or the mundane things, which is, the soul, the human soul.
So I think a message would be just to stay completely away from it. Even we can say, oh look, it's haram.
Allah, I'm calling your name.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, brothers and sisters, to our live episode of Viewers Pulse. MashaAllah, it's been a very beautiful program so far with a number of different phone calls, and we also managed to watch Sister Amanda Noor's story and how she came to Islam. Now, let's move over to segment number 2, where we have a very special guest. Let's introduce our guest and we will go into our questions. With us in the studio, we have with us Ali Coleman, who is our news presenter. Brother Ali Coleman, I would like to start off by saying it's an honor to have you here and to get to hear some personal things about yourself.
Yeah,
so welcome.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm very glad to be here.
Okay, thank you very much. Many of our viewers contacted us and asked us about our presenters and what's their life like away from the camera. So this is one of the reasons why you are here. Okay, let's begin with question number 1. Ali Coleman, could I ask you to tell us a bit about yourself and in particular about your educational background?
Well, I was born and raised in the United States, in the southern part of the United States. I finished my secondary school in the state of Florida.
Okay.
This is called, all the 50 states, they have a nickname. The nickname for Florida is the Sunshine State. It's a peninsula. It has a beautiful terrain. And so I finished my high school in this environment. There are lots of people who migrated to southern Florida from the Caribbean.
Okay.
There are pockets of people from Puerto Rico and Cuba, especially Jamaica, Haiti. And so this provided a very rich environment for me. I really enjoyed the beautiful scenery and also the beautiful people.
Excellent.
So I finished high school there, and I did not immediately go into the university. I spent 8 years in the United States Army.
Oh, right, okay.
I was a part of the medical corps. My job was to save lives.
MashaAllah.
Not only the lives of U.S. soldiers, but also we provided humanitarian service to different, whatever country we were in. I served 1 year in South Korea. Also, I was deployed to Iraq and Saudi Arabia, not for the 2003 invasion. This goes back to 1991,
okay.
The original. So this was what I immediately did after high school. Then I went to university.
Okay.
I started out wanting to be a Christian leader. I wanted to be to join Dr. King and these religious civil rights activists. But along the way, I looked more deeply into the faith and became very doubtful about the truth claims of Christianity. I backed away from this career ambition that I had, and you know, I didn't know what to do for a while. Because all of my aspirations were in this direction. So ultimately, I ended up switching to peacemaking.
Nice.
Right. I wanted to. I did a graduate degree in conflict transformation, which is an aspect of international relations, going to help people resolve their differences.
Okay.
The research project that I did, I sat in Uganda in Eastern Africa for 1 year.
MashaAllah.
And I looked at the impact of the Christian church on the traditional African culture, and looked at how the church erodes unnecessarily the culture of the people who embrace Christianity. So this was my research topic. I enjoyed it very much.
MashaAllah, that sounds very interesting. I'm also, Ali Coleman, impressed. Your background basically has been revolving around saving lives or human rights. You can see that throughout your decisions, the decisions that you've made.
Yeah, I think you can say I have a long-standing concern for social justice. I'm an African American. We have a very harsh reality harsh history that we're coming from in the United States. Also, in my family, we have some Native American heritage. So both lines, the Red Indian, is that the term you use?
That's what we're told in the UK, the Red Indians.
Red Indians.
I'm not sure, is that the correct term? Is that offensive?
We don't use it in the States.
Okay.
So it's a new term for me to use. We use Native Americans. Or American Indians.
Okay.
I have a small part of that in my heritage. So there were two great concerns that I had to be concerned, motivated to be interested in social justice.
Of course.
And so I felt like it was my duty to learn about our history and to be a part of the solutions that we could offer.
Excellent. Okay. That brings me very nicely over to the next part, most important part of your life, I think it would be, is how you embraced Islam.
Embracing Islam, I always say that I was born a Muslim.
MashaAllah.
Now, this was before I read the Quran and understood that this is the teaching of Islam. Why do I believe this? Because after I learned the principles of Islam, it was like a reflection of my inner beliefs. It's like I've always believed these things about Allah.
SubhanAllah.
And about what worship should be like. And so it was a perfect fit for me. I was like, wow, I'm a Muslim. Only, I think, I believe I was born a Muslim, but I didn't know how to be a Muslim.
Okay.
Because I was born in a Christian, a Judeo-Christian culture. All of my family and friends were Christians. And again, I wanted to be a Christian leader. And I was on the path to becoming what we call a pastors in the Western Protestant churches. And I backed away from that because there were things that I saw that just didn't make sense. One of my friends recently told me here in Egypt that it was always, whenever she read about Christianity, that it was a puzzle that you had to solve. How does this this concept of Trinity really work, right? But Islam is very clear and clean. And so it was very easy for me, once I understood it, to embrace Islam.
SubhanAllah. Brother Ali Coleman, I'm compelled to ask this question now. It's inside me. I want to know more, like your research and looking into Uganda, looking at Christianity, like you said, the church in Uganda, and you have roots in Native Americans and so on and so forth. Do you feel that the roots of these people was actually Islam? Like I'm talking about the Native Americans, I'm talking about the Muslims or the Africans.
Yeah.
Would you say the origin is Islam?
The short answer is yes.
SubhanAllah.
The short answer is yes. We know that there were, during the transatlantic slave trade, there were, this is a politicized number. How many human beings were transported from not only West Africa, primarily West Africa, but also East Africa? In both locations, you had Muslims.
SubhanAllah.
Right? And we're talking about places like Kenya and Somalia being transported. I think the numbers that I saw were about 500,000 during this transatlantic slave trade. But the vast majority, anywhere will range between 7 and 15 million human beings a part of this. And so this was hundreds of years after black Africans had embraced Islam. So we have documented evidence. Some of the Africans who were abducted became literate in the English language. They wrote about their experiences. They had reached their teenage years before they were abducted, and they knew Shahada. They knew Islam. They could say the prayers. So we have evidence that there were, in fact, Muslims who were a part of the. Now, for Native Americans, it's a different story. I think that they're probably. I don't know the short answer to the Native Americans. I think probably not. But I'm recently reading that Spain is where, Columbus was commissioned to travel across the Atlantic.
That's correct.
But this is also the location where Muslims had conquered for hundreds of years.
Of course.
And so there was the technology, there was the knowledge, there was the map systems that they had collected in Spain. So it's possible, very possible, and we have lots of evidence. We've heard from the Turkish president at the end of last year a number of times talk about the fact that Muslims, black Africans, were leaving West Africa and maybe there were some shahadas among the Native Americans. I don't know.
SubhanAllah, I think that is a research topic for you, brother. And I'll be the first one to read it. Inshallah ta'ala, maybe we can even have a program and discuss this, because I'm actually really intrigued on the subject myself.
It is a very interesting topic, yeah.
Okay, let's move over now. Let's come into Huda TV. Just for the sake of the viewers, could you clarify for us what is your exact role and tasks at Huda TV?
My job primarily is to present the news from throughout the Muslim world.
Okay.
I enjoy this job very much. Before I started this job, first of all, let me say that I believe it's a blessing from Allah to be here. As a new Muslim, this is a great position for me to be in, to learn about Islam. Now I know the geography of the Muslim world. I know the issues that we're facing in the Muslim world because of this job. I primarily collect news and present it. My effort, I always try to collect news that is diverse, not only to cover the geography of the Muslim world from the Asia Pacific, Asia, Europe, Africa, the Americas. I try to cover all the continents. So this is one aspect, but also the content. I don't want all the content. I don't think it should be all based on the Middle East and the political issues and the religious and cultural issues of the Middle East. There are lots of dynamic and wonderful contributions that Muslims are making in the world of science and technology and business and banking. So I like to diversify the content and the geography of the coverage. I enjoy it very much. Before I took this job, the last job I had in the United States before I came here, I was very close to the news. My job was to survey the news and collect certain stories actually related to Muslims.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked for a government agency. We monitored civil rights abuses against Muslims.
SubhanAllah.
Not only Muslims, but minority groups in general. Muslims, African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, these groups. My job was to, and I always diversified in my professional as well as my personal life, my news sources. And so this is very much a blessing.
It's Brother Ali, it's almost as if Allah is preparing you for something and He is gearing you in a particular way. And mashallah ta'ala, you are now serving the Muslim community, and that's a great honor.
Yeah, I agree. I think He was preparing me all those years.
MashaAllah. The next question on the list here, Brother Ali, how do you feel, this is a personal question, how do you feel about the Huda team, those who are in front of the cameras and behind the cameras, and what are your thoughts?
It's not a difficult question, really.
Okay.
The brothers here have embraced me as if I am a brother.
Okay.
All right? They all, yourself included, Junaid, have always been loving and patient with me, very kind towards me. And each brother, sometimes you don't have to talk to people to teach. Just watching brothers, seeing them interact with me and with each other, I learn lessons about what Islam is, and I'm very impressed, really, with the character and conduct of some of our Muslim brothers. I look at some of the patience, for example, the level of respect that's being acted out by some of I'm amazed. I'm like, wow, how can he be this way? I aspire to be like this brother. So I have a very high regard for the brothers. Egyptians in general, however, are very industrious people, very hardworking, but equally playful.
Okay.
So my colleagues are very playful, and this creates a very a light environment to work in.
Excellent, very nice. Brother Ali, my follow-up question. When you presenting the news is a little bit different to our other programs. I mean, I presented the news once, I think it was, and it was a little bit difficult at times to hold back. I mean, when you present the news, you just got to give the facts. Do you sometimes find it difficult to make comments or to give your opinions on what you hear?
Sure, and I think this is a challenge that anybody presenting news would have. We all have our own personal views and opinions about the stories we read, and as best I can, I try and screen those out. So I try and align my comments to the stories I read with Islam. For example, the tragedy we saw in Paris. Of course, we know this is against Islam and the teachings of Islam. So I'll make a comment along those lines. If I. So yeah, it again is a great privilege to be able to present the
Excellent.
news.
Okay, Brother Ali, has there been, or of course there must have been, the most influential moment for you on Huda TV that's really influenced the way you think or behave?
Wow, the most influential moment in Huda TV. I really appreciated the month of Ramadan.
Wow, okay.
The month of Ramadan was very special for me because I was fasting during this time, of course, and I'm a new Muslim. I've only been a Muslim for about 2 years.
SubhanAllah.
And so I learned a lot I went deeper this year when I covered the Ramadan. I think the festivals, the two Eid festivals and Ramadan were especially impactful for me. They took me deeper in the faith.
Talking about the two festivals, especially Hajj, because Huda TV has a special Hajj coverage, and I think you were covering some of the news articles that were taking place during these events. Could you express yourself and how you felt during that time?
You were actually a part of one of the most impactful moments.
That's fun.
You performed your first Hajj this last Hajj season,
That's
right?
That's right.
And while you were covering Hajj, you were there on the ground with a camera crew reporting on the events in Mecca, and you spoke from your heart. And you came to tears, and I felt chills all over my body. So this was one of the most impactful moments, and I really will always remember that moment.
Thank you.
And now I forgot your question. What did you ask me?
Some of the most influential moments. We were talking about the actual the Hajj days. Like out of those days, which was the most influential for you, and how did you feel?
Yeah, definitely that day.
Okay.
That day was one of the most influential, because you helped me. You were like a channel for me. You help me be there with you
Okay.
through your emotional state and your honesty, your love for Allah and Islam and your fellow Muslims. So that I would say, yeah. Mm.
Okay. I'm lost for words. The final question, we have just 2 minutes. Brother Ali, what are your future aspirations with respect to Huda TV? And where would you like to see Huda TV go? And yourself, what are your dreams?
I don't know. I think I want to always try to do my job better. I would like to take some formal training in presenting news and being in broadcasting. I'd also like to be more interactive with the viewers, during the news segment.
Good.
I don't know how that would happen because the program is only, the news portion is only 30 minutes long. So anyhow, this is something that I'd like to do in the future. Maybe it can happen on a weekly basis, or I don't know. But I want to improve myself, and I want to be more interactive with the viewers.
Excellent. Brother Ali, first and foremost, I would like to say, is my humble opinion, I think you're a fantastic news presenter, and I absolutely adore your style and how you present the news. You bring the news to life, and your idea about commenting on news articles, I think that's fantastic. If we have like maybe a very short clip, but a section where viewers call in and give their viewpoints or whatever they've seen, and then you can give your response, I think that would be fantastic. So yeah, I wish you all the best. And we have come to the end of the program. So, Brother Ali, I again, thank you for coming into the studio and for giving us your time. I know you were busy preparing the news, and I've taken you out of your circle, so please do forgive me for that.
No, I'm very glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Brother Ali, once again. Dear viewers, we have unfortunately come to the end of this segment, and it's been an absolutely amazing segment where Brother Ali Coleman took us to his roots and brought us to the events of today, and how he conducted himself and how he embraced Islam, and how subhanallah, how he now is serving the Muslim community, where at one point he was thinking of becoming a pastor and serving the Christian community, but now alhamdulillah is serving the Muslim community. Brothers and sisters, we have come to the end. I would like to remind you of the question of the week. What is the real name of Abu Jahl? Now you can do that by clicking on to our Facebook page, which is Viewers Pulse, and you can answer the question there, and inshallah ta'ala, just like we did today, we will read out your name and the correct answer. Brothers and sisters, it's been an absolutely amazing hour. I am very proud and very happy to be here and to be with you guys. We had a number of phone calls. We had the story of Amanda Noor, who explained to us how she became a Muslim, and we have with us Brother Ali Coleman. Brothers and sisters, please don't forget that this is an Islamic Da'wah channel, so do give us your stories, do give us your thoughts, and then we can prepare them just like we prepared the story of Sister Amanda. So brothers and sisters, I will see you next week at the same time, at the same place, with another very special guest from within Huda TV. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We'll talk about our way. Come join us and have your say. Let's talk about our way. Remember, you are not alone. Huda is the light in your home. We'll talk about Huda. We'll talk about our way. Come join us and have your say. Let's talk about our way. Remember, you are not alone. Huda is the light in your home.